of the Revere License Commission will be held remote participation only. Please click on the link on the License Commission city website for access. The following matters will come before the License Commission today, February 17, 2021. The meeting previously filed with the city clerk. The first items that we'll deal with are applications submitted for consideration. Item number 1, Bell Circle Associates, DBA Comfort Inn and Suites, 85 American Legion Highway. Gary L. Saunders is the manager. This is an application for a change of manager for hotel inn holder, parking lot, and common victualler licenses. Application of Bell Circle Associates, DBA Comfort Inn and Suites, for a change of manager to Gary L. Saunders. Is there someone on behalf of Bell Circle Associates?
Yes, hi, this is Andrew Bednarsh. I'm here.
And what is your position with the company, sir?
Vice President of Finance.
Very good. And can you tell us what is Mr. Saunders available? Is he going to be at the meeting today?
He's not available for this meeting. We're changing the name from Scott Hobbs, who is no longer an employee of the company, to Gary Saunders, who is the manager and the owner of the property.
Very good. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions for this gentleman?
Has Mr. Saunders been involved with the hotel in the past?
In the sense of, as far as the owner would be, yes.
He has been.
Yes, I mean, he reviews the monthly P&Ls. He's on top of all the operations. He's involved with the hotel, yes.
Okay, thank you. I have no other questions.
I have no questions.
Thank you very much. I don't have any questions. Is Mr. Saunders going to be working on the property?
He's not going to be physically present there. He's in the corporate office, but he does stop by frequently to check on, have meetings there.
I mean, how is he a manager if he's not going to be there?
Manager is his official title. He's the owner in essence. He's not the general manager. He's manager as in manager, manager on file for the license.
Well, I think that we would want someone on premises to see the day-to-day activity. Where is he stationed?
The corporate office is at Saunders Hotel Group at 715 Boylston Street in Boston.
Oh, he's in Boston. Okay.
Yes, he's 15 minutes away. He goes to meetings there every week. He's very hands-on operation for all the operations.
Well, so if there's not going to be a manager on the premises, who's going to manage the place?
There's a general manager, but Scott Hobbs was a general manager. Since then, we had a turnover of, I think, 2 other employees. So in order to prevent changing the name every year on the license, we want to put the owner's name on the license.
Well, I understand that you'd like to do that, but you know, I think the title of manager is for someone who is responsible for the day-to-day operation on the premises. I mean, that's my impression of a manager. I don't know what my other fellow commissioners think, but that's where I'm thinking about this.
Well, that's what a manager is supposed to do. Is supposed to be there at least 70% of the operating time. But to have a manager off premises, I agree with Commissioner Selvich. I don't think that's wise to have a manager off premises every day.
Okay, I was not aware of that requirement when we filled out the application.
Well, I mean,
Should we redo an application with a general manager's name on it?
well, so look at it from our position. You have a hotel license, parking lots, common victualler, and that's a bunch of licenses where there's going to be no one on the premises that's responsible according to what you're telling me, because your manager is going to be off premises some other place. So that's not really a manager, and I don't see how that really protects the people who go there, the neighbors, the city, or anything. I don't know, maybe I'm missing something. If you could explain that to me, that, you know.
Well, I mean, given the recent events with the pandemic, we're all working remotely. Even this meeting is taking place remotely. We don't have to all sit in one room to be able to run a meeting and run the premises. And with Zoom and everything, email and phone, the manager can be involved from a corporate office. And if the need arises, he can be there in 15, 20 minutes. And he's on the premises every week, sometimes more than once a week, for different meetings with various department heads. He reviews all the checks, all the P&Ls. He's involved in every decision. If anything were to occur, he would be consulted with. So he's very much involved in every decision at the property. He doesn't have to physically be there, especially now. So that's my understanding of how he can still manage the property effectively and still be involved and be held accountable should anything occur.
Very good. Thank you for that explanation. I appreciate that. Commissioner Orsini, do you have any questions?
I don't. I mean, I share your sentiments about the managerial aspect of it. And, someone who's supposed to be on the premises. I am struggling with the explanation. I can accept it, but I do think the manager should be on the premises. But that's just my personal opinion. But if that's how they're conducting their business, who am I to say otherwise? I think that as long as the manager's involved with the day-to-day, whether he's there or not, should pass the muster. Shouldn't have an issue with that.
Very good.
See, my feelings are, in any case, any license that we do issue, is when there is any kind of incident or we need to, for any reason, send someone down to inspect it, there should be a manager on presence. We have a name that when whoever has to go there for an inspection, that's the person that would be there that we would talk to. It's very hard to have someone working there that you talk to whoever might be on that day and work with them and then have to get an explanation from the manager. So,
well, there are operational managers and there's also a general manager that's always there every day. Gary Saunders, as a owner/manager, if there is an inspection or any issue, again, he would be there within half an hour of notice. He could be there and take care of it, and any official proceedings he can deal with personally, absolutely. So it's just his office is not physically located at the property. It's 20 minutes away in Back Bay, and he is, as I mentioned before, very hands-on, very involved, always on Zoom, and visits the property regularly.
is this the only property that he manages?
No, he manages Lenox Hotel in Boston as well.
Okay, I think he's spread a little thin.
Yeah.
I always like someone on the premises. That's why we have managers. If for any reason we just need to ask a question or send someone there.
There will also be a general manager there that would be fully aware of everything with regard to the property.
He would be fully aware of the parking lot. So no matter what question we had and he would be responsible should an incident occur that we would call him in, not whoever happened to be working that day.
Absolutely, yes. Gary's fully aware of everything. Yes, all the leases, all the contracts, all the legal and any contractual obligations. He's involved in all of that.
Okay, I'm just surprised. Why didn't you use him for the parking lot manager?
Honestly, I thought manager was just a title for an owner, and I didn't know it meant general manager, as in the person that's supposed to be on property. We have sometimes turnover with general managers, and I figured from the Lenox Hotel, he's listed as the manager as well and the owner. It's just easier to have an owner because that's not going to change likely in the future versus a general manager. That position can have much higher turnover.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Well, do I have a motion to approve here? Does anyone want to make a motion to approve this? I don't see or hear any. The reason, I'll tell you why I won't approve it, sir, or why I'm not putting in the motion or voting for it, is that a manager is someone who needs to be on the premises, particularly in this, with a hotel and all of these licenses that the hotel has. So I know it might be an inconvenience for you every time a general manager leaves, for you to come in here and have to put the new general manager back on there. But I'm sorry, the only way we can ensure accountability, at least in my mind, is to have that general manager's name as the manager of record. And I think based upon what I'm seeing from my fellow commissioners, they feel the same way.
I understand. No, I was just trying to
Time,
alleviate everyone's time.
the COVID time, this is, really, it's just another problem for you to deal with. And I don't mean to give you more problems, but by the same token, we have an obligation to protect the city and to protect what this license commission is supposed to do.
I understand. I apologize for that. I just did not, I misunderstood the definition of manager. I would have put the GM's name on the application had I known this. So it's not a problem for us. It's not an inconvenience. We don't mind. We want to do everything by the book, whatever it has to be done the right way. So we're fully supportive of that.
That's it. And we appreciate you being cooperative with us. And if you want to refile it, and, we'll be happy to take it up again the next time it comes in.
Okay, we will refile. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Commissioner, was that in the form of a motion?
I did not know. So we're going to make a motion to file this, and it's going to be refiled when the gentleman has the proper paperwork in line. Do I have a second on that?
I'll second the motion.
Very much, Commissioner. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks for your
Thank
time.
you. Thank you for your time.
Item number 2, St. Corp, DBA Nick's Deli, 750 Washington Avenue. Taj Rose, the manager. This is an application for seating change. St. DBA Nick's Deli, 72 seats from 50. All other operations remain the same. Is there someone here on behalf of Nick's?
Yes, hi.
How are you doing?
Good, good.
Okay, so we're aware of this. It was really more of a paperwork situation than anything physical. So if you guys just want to run through it quickly, so that the fellow commissioners and the rest of the people listening have an opportunity to hear what your situation is. So whenever you tell us a little bit about the history, and then we'll go.
I guess we filled up the application wrong. This is what happened. Instead of put a 72, we put accidentally 50. I don't remember how we did it, to be honest with you, but that was wrong though.
Okay. So it initially, I think the fellow commissioners have any questions on this?
No, I have no questions. It just seems as though it was just an error in the paperwork. And it's been approved by the inspectional services, so I have no questions.
Very good. Commissioner Osina?
Same, I note that they can go as high as 90, and it seems like it was a scrivener's error on their part, so I have no objection or, I have no issue with it.
Excuse me. Very good, sir. Thank you. All right, well then I will, do I have a motion? Does anyone want to make a motion?
We'll make a motion to approve and put the correct amount of seating that they originally applied for.
I second that.
That would be a change to 72 seats.
Thank you very
Yes,
much.
thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And approved. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay, that again was in a motion, and did we
Yeah.
get that motion?
I second it.
Oh, thank
Thank you. Item number 3, El Tipico Salvadorino Restaurant, Inc., 227 Revere Street. Sandra Rivera Martinez, the manager. This is an application for a transfer of a common victuals license. The application of El Tipico Salvadorino Restaurant, Inc., for a transfer of a common victuals license from Sabor Savarino Inc. Said license to be exercised at 227 Revere Street. Requested seating to remain at 20. The requested hours to be Sunday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 9:30 p.m., which are the same as the current hours. Is there someone here on behalf of El Tipico Salvatorino Restaurant Inc.?
Yes, right here.
Very good, sir. Can you tell us a little bit about what your plans are for the new place?
Yeah, so we're really just keeping everything the same. We're just changing the name and it's under new ownership. But the food's gonna stay the same, the seating, the hours, nothing's changing.
Very good. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions?
I have no questions. I'm very familiar with the premises and everything seems to be the same. And it's a very well-run business and I hope it stays that way.
Thank you, thank you.
Commissioner Ospina, do you have anything that you'd like to add?
No, I don't at this time.
Very good. Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second the motion.
Very good. The application for a transfer of a common victuals license of El Tipico El Salvadorino Restaurant Inc. for a transfer of a common victuals license is approved. The license is to be exercised at 227 Revere Street. The requested seating to remain at 20. The requested hours to be Sunday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. Current hours. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
That's approved. Item number 4, Kevin Auto Sales LLC, 1087R Broadway, Anthony Maffo LLC manager. This is an application for a change of officers, directors for a Class 2 motor vehicle dealer license. The application of Kevin Auto Sales LLC for a change of officers and directors to Anthony Maffo from Kevin Rafael Echeverra. The hours of operation to be Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The number of cars for sale to remain at 50. Is there someone here on behalf of Kevin Auto Sales LLC?
Yeah, I'm here, Anthony Maffo.
Very good, sir. Can you tell us a little bit about your plans for the business?
I pretty much I plan to keep the business the way it is and also try to do some improvement as I go along to make the place a better place and to treat people that come in nice, and then to try to abide by the rules and regulations for the city, and to stay within the premise of the license.
Very good. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions?
No, I have no questions.
Commissioner Osina?
I have no questions.
Very good. Sir, I see that you have not been able to obtain a sign off on this property, that it has not been inspected by fire. Is that correct?
Yeah, I called the fire department a couple of times. I've been on it over almost about 4 weeks now. And then they told me that the deputy chief is not around, and once he comes in, they will relay my message to him or her, and then he will get back to me. But I still haven't heard back from them.
Okay, and we have not been able to obtain a query check on that was submitted. So I think we're going to have, at least from my point of view, I don't think we can vote on this until we have some more information, because we're not it's not just transferring from the company. I mean, there's other things involved as far as the inspections and the registry requirements.
In terms of the registry requirements,
Yes. The registry requirements would be the result of the dealer plate and the agreement as far as keeping, now, is that plate going to be transferred into your name, or how is that going to work?
the plate was an issue for Kevin Auto Sales. And then I was able to, I did cancel one of the plates. I sent it to the motor vehicle, and I got a letter back that I only need one of the plates. And I also obtained, I have a proof of insurance that I obtained in my name. So the plate is in my name now.
Very good. Okay. All right. Well, is there someone that would like to make a motion on this matter? Is there anyone that wants to make a motion to approve this?
Well, we can make a motion to approve conditionally. Are we gonna wait for the inspection from the fire department?
I mean, we can, we have approved things, you know, I mean, we've generally approved things contingent on inspections. I mean, so that would not be unusual. We could do that if that is someone, if someone would want to make that motion.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
Does the inspection prevent him from operating at this point? Like, could he open his doors tomorrow, or he needs the inspection prior to?
I'm sorry?
I guess my question is, without that inspection, could he still operate and open his doors tomorrow if he chooses to, or he needs the inspection in order to operate?
Well, in order for him to operate, he would need to have a license. And in order for the company to get the license, we have to agree to transfer it. There are conditions that have to be met in order for us to transfer a license. So, you know, the question would be, are there enough conditions that are met for us to transfer the license contingent, or do we need more information before we can even consider that? I think that's where we are, unless my
right,
take.
I think you're right, Commissioner. I think we do need the, you know, thinking it over, I would love to, of course, get it through contingent, but I think when the fire department is involved, maybe we should wait to get all the paperwork done. May I ask the applicant, are you next to Action Towing?
Yes,
that-
I am.
You are. So
Yes.
that's a very congested area. So my thoughts would be, I personally, because of, you know, the multi-businesses there, maybe I'm rethinking that, and we should wait for the fire department. Because in the past, we've had a lot of unkept issues in that area. So for me now to go over the fire department, I think I'm best that I feel we should wait and get the sign off from the fire department.
If I may, can I say a few words? I'm Anthony Maffo's attorney.
Yes, please do. I was going to open up the section for
I
other.
have to get in. I do apologize. I'm actually on vacation. I'm down in Key West, so I'm not in suit and tie. But
It in, Counselor.
thank you. I've helped with this this organization and getting all the paperwork done for Anthony. We have been delayed in terms of getting the permitting done with the fire department and the building inspecting. And I would hate for this to then hold him back for many more months. I fully understand with COVID that things are not moving as, you know, as normally operating, but this would definitely prejudice my client to, he's got a business that he's got a lot of money into. He's doing a lot of repairs over there. He'd like to be able to continue doing that, operating, starting to ramp up opening. Things are tight. And I don't know how long this would be if we have to wait an indefinite amount of time for an inspection, then to come back and get on the agenda here. I mean, are we going to be putting this back months and months here?
Well, I mean, I would think that it would just take until the inspection, however long that is. But I mean, like I say, it's certainly not.
I would be in favor of conditionally approving the license, provided that Mr. Maffo gets the place properly inspected, and we can conditionally approve it with that condition in place. And even if we have him provide proof of that inspection and it's passing to our office, so that maybe we could just almost administratively kind of talk about it on the record at the next hearing without them having to reappear. Because if we approve it today, condition on him getting the necessary inspection, they wouldn't have to come back. Then you can go forward.
Yes, let me put that in the form of a motion. Let me just close this section for a moment. Are there any opponents? Is there anybody opposed out there to the application for this transfer? I don't see or hear any, so
Well, Commissioner, excuse me, at this time, I have to just say that I'm not in favor of contingent, only because of the dealings we've had with the fire department in that area. So I know Commissioner Rosina feels as though I felt originally, and then thinking it over, it's just the area, and we're having problems in that area with congestion. There are many junk cars. If you go by there now, it's just loaded with junk cars sitting around. I'm not far from that area. I live near that area. And we've certainly had our share of problems on Naples Road and Broadway with actually blocking the street. So I would have to, at this time, I would not be in favor of contingent on the fire department, because as you said, the fire department could take 2 weeks. Well, you're doing businesses for 2 weeks, where we've gotten calls that there are some dangers in that area as far as the junk cars, different businesses going on that we're still working with. So at this time, until I hear from the fire department, I would not be in favor of contingent. And I do understand the applicant, yes, and your attorney, that we don't want to hold this up. Obviously, as soon as you get the approval and the fire department goes down there and they approve it, I would have no problem having a quick special meeting so that you can get your business going. But until I do get that from the fire department, I could not go along with it being contingent, only because of the conditions in that area, the congestion, without the fire department approving.
I say something.
If
Right.
I'd
So
like to
I do, because she talks about there's a lot of junk car in the place. That was from the previous owner. So
yeah.
everything is cleared up. I do hire a cleaning company. They came in and removed all the cleaning from all the junk from the yard. That the building department, I forget his name, is Louis. He came back again to check the compound to make sure that all the junk, everything was out before he signed off on the inspection paper.
Oh, that's great. And I understand that.
If I may too, Commissioner, I don't know when the last time you were at that lot. I was personally down there and oversaw all of the vehicles being removed from that lot. They were the old inventory of Kevin Echeverria. The lot has been clear. We do understand that there is a long-standing kind of issue with neighbors there. And my client and I want to do everything possible to repair that, to make the lot more make the lot better for that area in terms of congestion. And I believe that we've already done that. I don't know when the last time you've got a chance to drive by, but it is clear. All
Yes,
vehicles are off that lot.
actually, Counselor, I was there this morning, so I did look at the lot. It looks like it's I mean, I see 50 license for 50, and I think, oh cow, I don't know how
Yeah,
you 50
I
cars,
know.
but that's another issue.
Yeah.
As far as looking at the lot itself, there was like eight cars in there now.
Yep. Yeah.
And parked by the gate. So, I mean, as far as being a fire hazard, at the moment, it doesn't really appear like it is one. So, I mean, I wouldn't be all that concerned about a contingent license with the fire. If there were 50 cars jammed in
Right.
there, and it was loaded with junk, maybe we might be having a different conversation. So, I mean, I'm almost inclined to side with Commissioner Osina that we do give this a look as far as granting it on a contingent basis, provided that the two items, the Corey and the fire inspection, come back suitable. And if that's the case, then, you know, we're good to go.
Okay.
That would be my, position, but like I say, let me just see if, so Commissioner Messina, do you want to make that motion that you want to grant
Yes.
the license contingent or?
Yes. I would move to grant Kevin Autos the license under Anthony Maffo, a conditional license, provided that the premises is properly inspected and some type of proof of that inspection is provided to our office, and the matter could be officially approved without condition at another hearing administratively. If that makes any sense in the form of a motion.
Yes, it does, actually. Commissioner Gonasso?
Well, I just, the only thing is I'm going to, my vote would be opposed to the motion. Only for that, again, unfortunately, the new owner, the history in that area, I've seen it cleaned up when a license is coming before us. I've seen those streets cleaned the way it should be, looks great. I went down there yesterday, there were still cars all parked underneath the billboard. So I'm there on a daily basis. I'm streets from there. So I see what happens and I appreciate that you cleaned it up. I think it does look great.
It's gonna be that way, you know. Think, you know, I'm just asking for an opportunity. I think I know in the past, you know, they have issue with the neighbor, but like I said in the beginning, I promised the city, you know, it's gonna be a lot of improvement, and you know, I'm new. I'm a different person compared to the previous owner, but I will try to, like I said, abide by the rules and try to stay within the limits and be a good neighbor. And also, like when the building department came, you know, he asked me, I want you to do this X, Y, and Z. And, you know, I quickly get into action. It's because I've been calling the fire department. They were supposed to call me back to schedule an appointment when to come. And, you know, maybe because of the COVID, you know, I kept calling and calling. They can check their call record. I spoke with a lady, I spoke with a guy. So I've called them several times. So over the last about 4 weeks or so.
May I ask you a question? Have you had a chance to speak to Action Towing?
In fact, I talk to a couple of their employees. Usually, sometimes they park their tow truck actually in front of the gates.
Okay. Well, listen, I'm welcoming you aboard. I hope everything that you say you're going to do, it does look nice now. I will say that, but I'm going to wait.
I'll keep it that way. Yeah.
So
Very much, Marco.
my commissioners have a motion on the floor.
Yes, the motion is approved for the application for a change of officers, directors for a Class 2 motor vehicle license. the application of Kevin Auto Sales LLC for a change of officer director to Anthony Maffo from Kevin Raphael Achivera is approved contingent on Kevin Auto Sales LLC receiving all of the necessary inspection permits from fire and building, as well as the sufficient query check as required by the license. Those items are met, the application will be approved.
So Commissioner, may I just have a question? On this motion that was just approved, does this mean that now he is allowed to go ahead with his business now without any interruption before?
He has to get the inspection. Once he gets the inspection, it's approved. It's not approved until you get the inspection.
Right.
Oh,
So
I understand.
So you can't
until the fire department signs off, there will be no business being done there.
work and clean up the place, but as far as selling autos, you can't do that until you get this signed off from the fire.
Okay,
Right. All right?
all right, thank
We
you,
understand.
Clear.
thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you, sir. Good luck. Item number 5 is removed from the agenda. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's correct.
That is
All right.
correct.
Thank you. Item number 6, Primo's Partners LLC, DBA Fajitas Sports Bar and Restaurant, 46 Revere Street. Nicholas Portillo is the manager. This is a hearing into violation of Governor Baker's COVID-19 orders. Is there someone here on behalf of Primo's Partners LLC?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Your name and address for the record?
My name is Cosmo Carololis. I'm a local attorney with offices on 14 Proctor Road Avenue in Revere, Mass.
Very good.
And
Yes,
I'm here on, oh no, I was going to say I'm here on behalf of Fajitas Bar and Grill
okay.
to respond to the violations. I'm also joined by the staff member that was there on the night that the violation occurred and also whose birthday it was. I could briefly go into the facts real quick.
Yeah.
So on the night of January 16th, Fajitas Bar and Grill had stopped serving their beverages by 9:30 as they typically do, closed the doors by 10. Between 10:10, the remaining employees and bartenders still at Fajitas decided to throw their fellow employee, Jose, a surprise birthday party for him at Fajitas Bar and Grill. It's uncontested that the restaurant was closed. I'm sure you have the pictures before you as well, and the report in which Commissioner Selovich notes that all of the shades were drawn, the front door of the establishment was locked, and that the bartender that came to the locked door opened it, told him that the restaurant was closed. But we're not coming here and trying to give you an excuse for the events of that night. We know it was wrong. It was a clear violation of the governor's orders. And we're not trying to spin it as anything else than that. But we did want to give you the honest truth, which it is that it was a birthday gathering. And as proof of that, I guess, I do have the staff member's license, which evidences his birthday as the 15th. I don't know if you could see that.
And which staff member was that? Sir?
Jose Landaverde.
And where was he working?
What was that?
What position does he have with the restaurant?
He was like a night staff manager. So yeah, I mean, if you couldn't see it, his birthday is January 15th, 1978. The pictures, this balloons, this cake. So anyway, we could get past that. But like I said, not an excuse. There's no doubt that people were congregated inside when the commissioner came by, and there's no doubt that those people were unmasked, both in violation of the governor's orders. However, we're here to say that we can do better and that we have drafted a remediation plan to address all of these violations and to ensure that they don't occur again. Also, we were notified that some neighbors regularly had complaints about noise, and we've incorporated into the remedial plan how to address those complaints as well. I could pause if you've got any questions, or I could go into the.
Are very good. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions for the attorney?
Well, I think, Commissioner Salovich, I'd like to hear from you what transpired when you did get there and how helpful they were.
Well, I mean, look, to be honest, it is, as the counselor said, the shades were drawn, the doors were locked. I could hear music from outside on the sidewalk. I knocked on the door. The bartender did come over to the door and open it. I showed the license commission badge and was allowed access in and saw what I saw. I mean, really wasn't a lot of conversation. I didn't have much to say. They didn't have much to say. We all knew what was going on. I took a few pictures and everybody left. And that's basically what transpired there. So was it a birthday party? Very well could have been. I didn't, I'm not going to say it wasn't or was or anything other than 10 o'clock. There were 9 patrons in there. They were serving alcohol. People were unmasked. That's the situation from my perspective. Beyond that, why, the who's, the what's, I'll leave that for the rest of this discussion.
Thank you.
Commissioner Orsini, do you have any questions here?
The only question I have, I think that our position today might be a lot different if the governor didn't recently amend the order, the capacity order, as well as but my question is who's responsible? Again, I apologize, I pronounced your last name, Attorney
Carol Lewis.
Carol Lewis. Who's responsible to ensure compliance to the governor's standing orders on a day-to-day basis at this restaurant?
So typically that would lie with the manager and the license holder. He's not able to be with us here today because of a medical emergency, of which unfortunately we're not sure when that will come to a close. But that is who is typically in charge of the day-to-day.
Was he present that night?
I don't believe so, no.
I see.
My problem, Counselor, is not so much with whether or not the COVID regulations are based in science or anything to do with anything. It is the open kind of scoffing of the law. This is not the first complaint that the place has had, all right? And it seems that they all kind of generate around this same kind of scoffing of things, whether it's noise requirements or closing it when it was 1:30, keeping people beyond, or allowing people to congregate out front so that it antagonizes the neighbors. Those kinds of issues, which, each one taken individually is probably not very, significant. But if you live there and you have to put up with that every night, every few nights, it gets to be much. And I think, that's kind of what, we're dealing with here in a sense. And so any remedial action you can do would be greatly appreciated. I'm going to shut down this portion of the hearing, and I'm going to hear from anybody else that wants to speak on behalf of Fajitas. Is there anybody that wants to speak on behalf of Fajitas? I don't see or hear any, so I will turn that over. Is there anybody who is an opponent and who wants to speak about Fajitas' history and this particular incident? I don't see or hear anybody. I guess we are going to just go with what we have.
Well, I think, Commissioner, this is the problem. This is it in a nutshell. Obviously, there are violations going on at this establishment. Neighbors do not call. They don't give us a paper trail. They don't come before us. I wish they would come before us and explain how often does this happen? Does it happen often? We have spoke with this establishment in the past, and they've said that, you know, things will change. I'm sorry, Commissioner Selvich, what time did you say you entered the establishment?
It was, after 10:15, 10:10, somewhere right around there.
And it was just employees that were in there? Is that what they're saying?
No, it would, every table, you could see people sitting at tables.
So they were payroll.
We're rushing anybody out of there.
Okay.
If
So,
I-
you know, it's just seems to be an ongoing problem with them. They're just not getting the message. We have called them in. We've spoke with them. We've asked them to talk to the neighbors. And from what I understand, although there's no neighbors here, he hasn't done that either. So I guess it's up to this place some strict stipulations on this license before it's rolled back. Obviously, they're not listening. I can't speak because I wasn't there. I'm not a neighbor. It makes it very hard for me, although I have been going by there quite a bit since this incident. I haven't seen anything. And again, unless a neighbor calls and lets us know and we can go down and inspect it, it's very hard for us. But certainly no mask after hours. It's inexcusable.
Council,
First time.
Counselor, do you have anything that you'd like to say on behalf of your client? Perhaps maybe this might be a good point to tell us what type of mitigation you'd like have planned for the neighbors.
Sure. So as of today, fajitas will reach out to each and every neighbor individually, and so that they can voice their concerns, and then that an employee of fajitas can directly receive those concerns and act on those, or form a plan to act on those, and hopefully resolve in a mutually agreeable way for everybody. But even beyond the general outreach to the neighborhood, we do, like I said, have a 4-step plan. And the second step of that plan would be that at closing time, Fajitas Bar and Grill will ensure to employ waiters, ushers, bartenders, whatever you'd like to call them, at all the points of exit, so that when the establishment does close at the prescribed time, whether that may be 10 as it was in January or 12 as it may be in the future, there will be staff there to ensure that it is a quiet and orderly exit at closing time. And I believe that that was one of the biggest issues with the neighbors, was the loud and the ruckusness around the time of closing.
Yes.
The third point that we're going to do is similar to that, where we are going to address the concerns of neighbors who have shared with us that they often find nip bottles or other beverage containers and what have you, debris that patrons leave the night before, and they're found littered and scattered around the sidewalk and near their homes and their yards, etc. So what Fajitas proposes to do is to employ someone, again, another staff, at 10 o'clock upon closing the store, to survey and inspect the perimeter of the premises of the establishment, and to ensure that no garbage or any debris is left over from the leaving patrons. And then the fourth and final point is that Fajitas obviously is going to take this extremely seriously, as they should, and they will ensure strict adherence to the governor's orders and absolute compliance to the guidelines therein. There will no longer allow staff to congregate inside. They absolutely will not be having any more indoor private gatherings, whether that may be during or after store hours. And they will ensure that everyone, whether staff, employee, patron, is masked at all times while in the establishment.
I have just a couple of questions, Counselor. When you say nips, does Fajitas serve nips in the
No.
establishment?
No, well, so that's, again, lies the biggest, I guess, not confusion, but mystery of this all is, where are the neighbors that are complaining about the nip bottles? The nip bottles that the Fajita's doesn't serve. Where are the neighbors complaining about all these other things and then not showing up? So it's a lot of complaints that I guess they're not really followed through on, and we're just here trying to do the best that we possibly can, given the times and how difficult it is for small businesses as it is to survive, and even just regular people to get on with their lives. You know, the minimum capacity and all that, it's a lot. So we're there. They honestly are going to try to do their best to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
Okay, my other question is the music. Now, if you can hear the music from outside, obviously that's disturbing the neighbors. It's quite congested there. I know it's hard. When you have music, I mean, you can play music in your house and sometimes it will be heard outside. So I do understand that. But wanting to work with the neighbors, they should have someone monitoring it outside. They put the music up to a point where you shouldn't have to hear that outside. People across the street in that apartment house should not hear their music. So I know we have a 10 o'clock closing. Well, when you have a 2 o'clock closing, I think the music goes off. We do it anytime from 11 to 1:30. So if they're closing at 10 o'clock, what time are they stopping the music?
So I've been apprised that they've been closing at 12 because of the new. What time do you stop the music when you close at 12?
When you close 12 to 11:30 music done.
I'm again apprised that the music is done by 11:30 when the closing time is 12.
Okay, well, it should be at least an hour. I guess went by each establishment, so there's not a law on when you have to stop the music. But I think that would help their case quite a bit if they could make sure that music is not being heard by outside by homeowners so that they can rest also. And 11:30 for that area is a little late for some people that do want to go to bed earlier. So even if it's 11:30, let's cut that way back. Maybe at 10 o'clock, 10:30, let's cut the music way back so that, yes, your patrons can enjoy it, but let the rest of them that are home trying to enjoy their homes be able to do that also.
Certainly, we're certainly amenable to that. I'd just like to add as possibly a confounding variable that there is I believe a two family or a 3 family right next door that is notorious for playing loud music on the 3rd floor. So oftentimes there's kind of a discrepancy of where the music's coming from. But I'm not here to say it's them or it's us or who it is, but we absolutely are amenable to doing a 10:30 cutoff. And then if there's music playing after 10:30, then it can't be us.
What's the restriction on the entertainment license? Doesn't the entertainment license indicate?
I had entertainment license, this to 11:30.
I believe it is to 11 or 11:30. I have it right here.
I would.
Yeah, the entertainment is, well, it's till 11 p.m. karaoke.
Exactly. So I think that the adherence needs to be to what the entertainment license allows. From what I understand from the history, and again, my fellow commissioners maybe knows a little bit more about this restaurant than I do, but just as a patron myself who's visited the restaurant, I've eaten there. Yeah, based on what I'm seeing from the history of this restaurant, it seems like it's one person typically complaining. And again, based on our review of this restaurant in its entirety, it seems like the police doesn't have an issue with them. The health department doesn't have an issue. They're inspected regularly. So I don't want to get lost, in, nitpicking at issues that, they have an entertainment license to 11 o'clock. Let's adhere to that. And it doesn't excuse the violation under the then standing order that the governor issued in terms of the 25%. But it seems like your remedial measures are appropriate. It seems like you guys are on the right track to do the right thing. And, I don't want to make it seem as if it's a the restaurant, it's a good restaurant. And I'm speaking from my experiences with the restaurant itself. They have great food there. And I trust, based on the remedial measures that you've indicated, this may not be a problem in the future. There's one neighbor, from what I understand, that's constantly complaining. But if they have a valid entertainment license and they're operating within its capacity that allows the entertainment license allows, I can't take much more issue than that. So I don't know what we do in terms of resolution, given the change in the 25%, it's now 40%. I would caution the restaurant to ensure that they're apprised of all of the changes that are constantly being made when it comes to the COVID regulations. And hopefully this won't have to be revisited. But I don't want to get lost in every aspect that's really not before the commission at this present time. What's before us today is what my fellow commissioner raised that he cited on January 16th in his letter. And I think that we should address that and move forward from there.
Very good, Commissioner Orsina. Thank you very much. I tend to agree with your position that we don't want to go down a rabbit hole here with complaints, but by the same token, I did get a call about a complaint. I did check it out. The complaint is valid, so you can indicate whatever you want about it's only one, it's only this, but it was a valid complaint, and as such it needs to be addressed. And so how we address it now, I guess, is the issue. We can sanction, roll back hours, file, any one of a number of ways to handle it. I think the attorney and the owner have come up with a plan that, if they follow through on it, should give us the desired results, which would be a cohesive, happy neighborhood where we have a restaurant that thrives and neighbors that, get along with the place. And that's obviously the goal. So with that in mind, I would like to see if this plan can be enacted and if it can be, have a positive effect. So with that, I might want to file this for a couple months and bring it back up and see how we do going forward. I don't know how other people feel about that.
Well,
Commissioner,
I think we had kind of a similar issue last summer, I believe. It was with one of the establishments on the beach. And they also felt that having a birthday party in their establishment was okay because it was just family. It was, there was no excuse to be open after hours or not to abide by the rules and regulations of your license. I feel any complaint that someone has and we can back it up, we should address it. Some of them, I have to be honest with you, I've never been in the establishment, but I have to say, I don't believe it's them with the nips. So as Commissioner Oshina said, we can't hold them responsible for everything that's going on there. The council is right. There is a 3-family right next door. Yes, they do play music. And I know that. The nips, I don't think they have nips in there. So they could be coming from, of course, we have a couple of establishments around the corner that do sell nips. So yes, we do have to look at this. We don't want to hurt any business that's trying to. But I feel that with what we did with the other establishment, I believe it was last summer, they had a probation period. And we gave them a probation period to see how they did in the next 3 months in correcting these issues. And I don't believe they're all of their problems. So I don't want to come across as I'm blaming them for everything that happens in that area. So as we did, we put them on probation. We gave them 3 months. They got their act together and that was the end of it. We haven't heard anything else. So I would be probably more to putting them on probation, letting them know we are there, we're watching. We don't blame you for everything that happens in that area. We can't do that in any area of the city. So I'd like to see a probation period and see what they do for the next 3 months in correcting these issues. Try to work with the neighbors. I don't know. I only know one of the neighbors. I don't know the other ones that may or may not be complaining. I don't know if the council has got names of other people. That I don't know. But I would probably be leaning more towards a probation period. And in 3 months, if everything goes well, that's the end of that. You know, and I think they're willing to work with the area. And if they don't, I'm sure they'll be back up.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Osina, do you have anything that you'd like to add to a motion on this?
No, I would support and second your motion. Just keep it on file and review it at a later date, 3 to 4 months from now, and ensure that everything's okay and go from there.
Okay, all right. Well, so here's what I'll propose. I would propose that we would have a 3-month probation period where we would file this for 3 months and watch your plan in action, Counselor, and hopefully we'll get some results. So at the end of the 3-month period, we'll come back and we'll revisit this and we'll see if we have any complaints and we'll see where we are with it, and hopefully we're in a better place.
I would
Thank
second
you.
that.
So do I have a second on that motion?
I would second that motion.
Thank you very much. The motion is approved for a 3-month probation period. We will come back and revisit this at that time.
Thank you very much.
That concludes item number 6. The next items are communications. A notice of warning from the ABCC issued to the Royal Loyal Order of Moose for violation of COVID-19 safety standards. Return of no action for ABCC for application of AMBE Corp. DBA Broadway Convenience Mart for a change of offices, directors, and transfer of stock. Item number 3, a notice from the ABCC approving a change of manager application for Driftwood Special Servicing LLC, DBA 4 Points by Sheridan Revere. An advisory from the ABCC regarding increasing retailers' capacity limit to 40%. And an advisory from the ABCC regarding the governor's COVID-19 order number 62. We also have some license renewals, which we can find on the website. So if you want to see, there's common victualers licenses, class 2 motor vehicle dealer license, parking lots, and inn holders. And those licenses are renewed. And that concludes the agenda for this particular meeting. Do I have a time and date for a next meeting? March 17th?
March 17th.
Is that a holiday?
No.
Very good.
St. Patty's Day, isn't it?
St. Patty's Day.
Yes, but it's not a holiday.
Very good. So I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting until March 17th.
I'll second the motion.
Very good. Consider the meeting adjourned. Thank you very much, folks.
Maggie, I have a question for you.